Let's jump right into it. Grab a bunch of items ranging from different sizes and find a spot to do your flat lays. Number 1. Don't try to take symmetrical photos. So what I mean by this is avoid taking photos that require your shot to be perfectly straight, like an overhead shot. Most flat lays are done like this and they look amazing, but if you're a beginner or you don't have an overhead tripod, you might find it difficult to get your shots perfectly lined up. Symmetrically overhead flat lays have to be laid and shot perfectly in order for it to look good. You'll find yourself getting frustrated having shots that look like this. Flat lays don't have to be shot from up top. You can lay them out and shoot them from an angle. This way, lining up the shot is not critical. As long as your props are lined up nicely, a bit of shift in the angle of the shot will be seen as an artistic decision. You can even step further back and show the entire background of the flat lay. I find that a 45 to 65 degree angle almost always works with this type of shot. Number 2. Using an angled light source. There's no need to go out and buy a bunch of different lights to shoot a good flat lay. I find that shooting with one source of light brings a dramatic effect. Having the light angled at around 45 degrees creates dramatic shadows in the flat lay. I find that having the light centered creates boring shadows that seem unnatural. Not often do you see shadows that are perfectly lined up. Having a strong angle creates more character in the scene, much like how a sunset would. You can buy any softbox light from Amazon or utilize natural daylight during sunset so you can have dramatic shadows in your flat lays. Number 3. Think in shapes. All flat lays should be thought of in shapes. Here's an example of what I mean. This photo here uses a mix of squares and triangles to determine where the products are laid out. The shape creates a satisfying pattern to look at and in turn ensures that the products follow the same pattern. It is easier to see the patterns with basic shapes than with products with irregular shapes. The key here is to think of a satisfying pattern to lay out using basic shapes, and then place your props in that manner. If you do this, your flat lay layout will almost always look good. Here are a few different shape layout examples that you guys can follow. It would be awesome to see what shots you guys come up with. Number 4. Create an organized mess. So the trick here is to fill the entire frame with a bunch of different products varying from different sizes from large to small. The key to success with this technique is to leave room for the products to breathe. This look creates more fluid images when compared to the typical straight flat lays. I like this technique a lot because when compared to traditional flat lays, I don't have to worry about how I place the products as much. Number 5. Use objects of varying sizes. So I briefly mentioned this earlier, but you have to use items of different sizes ranging from extremely large to extremely small. This will bring variation into your flat lay and ensure that the photo doesn't seem one-dimensional. So if you're doing an everyday carry flat lay, you want to show off the bigger objects you have, such as an iPad, a notebook, or even your camera. These objects will be the most apparent when someone looks at the photo. The objects will draw the viewer in, while in contrast, the smaller objects will complement the bigger objects and invite the viewer to linger around the photo to look at the small details. Some objects you can have here are an Apple Pencil, headphones, wallets, keys. You get the point. I hope all of these tips were useful and maybe different from the ones that you've heard of before. I would love to see what kind of flat lays you guys are shooting. I invite you guys to shoot some and post them on Instagram with this hashtag or just tag me. See you guys in the next video.